I'm Alan.
I am blind. Just kidding. I mean, kind of. I'm Rahana, but I'm also blind right now.
Good.
Good.
Because
That's what you get.
Justice is blind.
Oh, man.
What else is blind?
I don't know.
Bird Box.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed, by the way. I feel like there are people that didn't. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, I remember it.
Like, I feel like that's a very lackluster response.
I mean, when you can't compare it to A Quiet Place because it's not the same.
No, it's not the same at all.
Yeah.
But
it's
for something on Netflix, I thought it was excellent.
And Sandra Bullock.
And I love Sandra Bullock, and I thought she did so well, and I thought the concept was really, really cool.
They killed the Asian guy right away, though, I noticed. So, B.D. Wong in the chair.
I don't remember.
Of course you don't.
Here's the thing. I don't remember most of, like, the characters that weren't Sandra Bullock and the kids. That's my thing. Except for the creepy dude, who's the dude that, like, comes in and is the reason chaos ensues. For the house.
John Malkovich? Or
No, not
which
him.
Guy? Oh.
Yeah.
See, I forgot. I know something happened.
Yeah, see,
I can't remember.
You're very like, about that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? We have very different opinions. That's okay. Welcome to Film Minnesota, you guys.
Yeah, we're trying something new this year. Trying to do a theme show hopefully once a month to give you guys more stuff to listen to.
Yeah.
And also we have a new segment this time around. We're trying out a name.
We are open to options.
Well, let's not open the floodgates on that quite yet, but you know.
I am opening all of the gates, the floodgates, the fire gates. I'm opening them all. If you have creative, fun, potentially funny ideas for a name for the bit, then let us know. But if it's not creative or funny or fun, then just keep it to yourself.
And we're calling it for now 10 films or less. It's like 10 items or less. You know, because we know there are some dry spells throughout the year, I'm sure. So it happens. There aren't always films being made in Minnesota, perhaps. But we'll try our darndest to get you up to 10, hopefully, each month. So
that's right. Keep everybody in the know.
So with that,
take it away, Alan.
We have 10 films or less.
10 films or less.
The first...
I don't know why that was funny, but okay.
We're going to add some music into that. Ta-da!
Oh, man.
Just you wait.
I'm very excited.
So number one, I talked to my DP, one of my DPs, Joe Mellor, or Meller.
He's once, your DP.
See, now his name once was I knew it as Mellor. That's what he told me. Then later he said he himself was corrected in it being like Miller but Meller.
See, that's weird though. Okay, Joe, if you're listening, what? No.
Anyways, he says he's working on a documentary right now about hockey. He's about 60% done shooting-wise. That needs, obviously, to still be edited. Being shot on the FS7 primarily. I noticed there are some drone shots in some of his social media posts. He's filmed in California, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Minnesota so far. Still will be going to Toronto and New Mexico, as well as Pittsburgh and Sweden, to refollow two women who are kind of the main characters of this.
That sounds incredible. Like all those places you just named? That's fantastic.
And who'd have thought all these places have hockey? Well, I guess most of them do, except for like California, I guess.
Well, California has 3 freaking teams.
That's true.
It's ridiculous, honestly.
They're running out of water, so maybe he's
taking it up for the hockey rinks.
Rollerball.
Right.
But yeah, he's working on a doc. Don't know the title yet, so that's the news
TBD.
there.
Nice. Well, we've got a couple of updates from one of our previous guests, Allie Daniels. So one project that she's currently working on is being directed by another one of our previous guests and co-stars another previous guest. So many exciting things. It's called Misplaced Trust. It also is starring Laurie Roovers, Charla Marie Bailey, and Gabby Day Morrell. It's about 4 women who realize that they're all seeing the same man and how they react based on that information. There's a twist, but no spoilers. You have to wait to be able to see it. So that's really exciting. Another film that she's currently working on is called One Minnesota. It's about a fictional civil war here in Minnesota and was described as, quote, absolutely bonkers. Also directed by, wait for this, another previous guest, you guys.
Who is it?
Ryan Becken.
Ryan Becken.
Right?
Number 2.
I love it. All of our previous
Deuce.
guests are just working together. I'm pretty sure that means you guys should be on our podcast. Wink, wink. Yeah.
Do you like how he's mentioned him, the Deuce?
The Deuce.
Like
of course.
Ford v Ferrari, which we'll get to in the Oscar theme here.
Shortly.
Anyways, next in the news, Utopia Planitia is premiering its first season on Seeka.tv. Seeka, SEEKA.tv. Also an app on Roku, by the way. And they are in the middle of their first season run, currently airing there. There is no news on a second season just yet. I think they're just going through the first season right now to obviously stay on target. Mm-hmm. And I presume it's already been to, I think, a few web series festivals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we are all caught up on this as well.
Yes.
And it's excellent.
Currently episode 3, so even by the time this airs, hopefully we'll be on to 4.
Yeah.
So
it's really good. You guys should check it out.
Let's see. We have another film called Tribulations. It's about a Christian senator is unable to reconcile the current immigration policy with what his faith teaches and takes action. This one is directed by Nathan Block. Stars Sally Ann Hunt, Jocelyn Sanchez, Andy Moore, Brian Cristano, and Ryan Maddow. Maddox. Oh.
I have no idea. I literally.
What would you? Yeah, that makes sense. That's
it could be either. I don't
usually
know.
Maddow would be O-U-X.
Yeah. We're probably both wrong, honestly. Who knows?
Ryan Maddox.
Mad Dog. Sorry. I'm so sorry if you're listening and you did not appreciate that.
Mad Dog. We got to have Mad Dog on.
Let's do it. So another update. Brian from Why Create Films I'm really excited about this for 2 reasons. One, the name I just think is fantastic. I'm amped. And also I think it sounds adorable. And I'm really excited about it.
Tell us more.
Okay. It's called, you guys, A Very Merry Extravaganza. I'm just no response.
The smile
from
on your
Alan,
face
but
is just...
I love that name.
You are lighting up over this.
I am. My excitement is not fake, you guys. It's starring Justin Jones, and plot, it is about 2 penguins that need to save their adventurous baby egg from destruction and an evil dog. You guys, I am so excited for this. I'm not kidding. I'm so excited. It sounds fantastic.
From what I understand, it's a puppet thing that he mentioned on our podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's for Z-Fest.
Yeah.
David Buchanan is currently writing his next feature film.
Damn.
It will be a sophomore film to black which is currently on Amazon Prime right now for rent or purchase. And then we have another Z-Fest film that Jamie Janik is working on. Looks like it's called Flavor Bringer. Directed and edited by John Lampson. DP is Justin Brulman. Let's see. Oh, Haley Jacobson. Yeah. Kevin Locke are also co-starring in that.
Nice. Additionally, from Jamie, she is one busy lady. She's also currently working on a film called The Misanthrope. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah. It's got quite the cast. You've got Jamie, Justin Jones, Charlotte Marie Bailey, Raina Rios, James Atkinson, Katie Kramer, Ryan Grams, Will Layton, Peter Groynham wrote and produced. Jason Schumacher directed. Tim Schrader is the DP, and the AD is Matt Roy. And that right there is quite the list of people. And again, I'm going to point out also quite the list of previous guests. And then our final update is from the wonderful Tiffany Cornwell Dupont. I love her name. So she's got a bunch of stuff going on. But to start, so Girl Stuff, which is something that her and Kendra talked about when they were on last. Mm-hmm. And since then, it is screened at 3, soon to be 4 festivals since they were on. They won Audience Choice Award, and Best Cast Award at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival. They completed the pilot script and show Bible. So if anybody happens to have like $5 or $1 million or something like that, they want to throw her way so they can actually make that would be phenomenal. You can find her on Facebook. And she's also really excited about this news, and I'm glad that she shared this, so we're able to actually share this at this point. But she has been cast as the female lead in the upcoming feature film Sanctified, which is going to be shooting in May in North Dakota. She is thrilled about that.
Wow.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on.
I met Nick Swedlin. He's involved with it as well. Involved. He's the filmmaker.
He might be there. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's great. But that's 10 films or less. We hit 10 this time. So.
Woo!
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys.
Good job.
All right. We're going to meander from that, and we're going to hop over to the Oscars, because that's the season we're in.
Yeah, we're in award season right now.
And since we all love movies, that's why we're here. We're gonna do what I like doing best, even though Alan hates that I do it. We're gonna judge. We're gonna pick favorites and least favorites, and we're gonna judge. So we've got our Oscars 2020 ballot in front of us, and we're just gonna kind of go down the row. Yeah. Let's start with. Do you want to start with actor and supporting role?
Yeah.
All right. Who do you think?
Let me get situated here.
Okay, I'll start. I would like to preface this whole section of the podcast by saying I have not seen all of these films. That's fine. Whatever. Who's got the time? There are some films that I really, really want to and wanted to see that I have not yet. Yeah. And my pick for this is actually one that I have not seen, but I'm certain that it was good and that he was excellent. And it is Tom Hanks in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I heard wonderful things, and he is a wonderful person, so he gets my vote.
Okay, so in the category of actor in a supporting role, we have Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
That would probably help.
Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes, Al Pacino, The Irishman, Joe Pesci, The Irishman, and Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I find it weird that Tom Hanks is a supporting role in the Fred Rogers film.
Alan, that's such a good point. Fuck. Why didn't I think of that?
Why is he... I haven't seen it either yet.
See,
I want to.
We
also.
just messed up. It probably is
We-
very obvious as to why, and we're just over here like,
Yeah, we missed.
maybe it's because No, I don't know.
So we missed that.
I don't know. We missed it. I still think he should win. I'm certain he did an excellent job.
I think that's confusing. Yeah, that is confusing to me. Why is he supporting?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is he supporting himself in this? Is that what?
Probably. He's
Maybe-
actually playing two roles.
Maybe it's about a kid. I don't know.
It's a good question.
Anyways, I did see the two popes. Anthony Hopkins, again, excellent job. He kind of plays, if you will, the antagonist pope of the other pope. So
that's your pick?
no.
Oh.
I'm just going down the list here
Why?
because I've seen these and I want to just at least make mention. Al Pacino and Joe Pesci. I mean,
I didn't see this movie, you guys.
Joe Pesci came out of retirement to do this role.
He's pretty
And-
awesome.
It took a lot of convincing, apparently,
I can see
from
that.
Marty and Bob.
Marty and Bob. You guys, Alan's BFFs with Marty and Bob. He's been holding out on us all.
I won't say any more than that.
Okay.
But that's just how they refer to each other. So, But anyways, but I think Brad Pitt is my pick for this.
Really?
He's been cleaning it up in the other awards, and typically those votes do transfer to.
So he's who you think should win.
I think.
Or who you think will win, but who do you think should win?
Okay, well I think Al Pacino would be
Okay.
my pick,
Okay.
but I think the Academy will go for Brad Pitt.
Right. Yeah, I think Brad Pitt's going to win, but I want Tom Hanks to win.
Okay.
Sorry. I think we filled this out in two completely different ways.
Yes. we can do both. That's okay. But yeah, I think Brad Pitt's gonna win. Al Pacino did a great job playing Jimmy Hoffa. Just yeah, I think his ability to say yes to things is great. Just the way he was on board with us right away. He's like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
But Joe Pesci needed convincing. The studios needed convincing. We'll get to more of that later here.
Yeah. Do you want to do actress in a supporting role?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we've got Kathy Bates from Richard Jewell, which I did not see, but I really wanted to. And just from like trailers and
Same.
clips, she looked amazing. Laura Dern from Marriage Story. The movie was quite good, I thought, but I mean, she was fine? Question mark. And I love Laura Dern.
She was fine? Question mark.
Yeah, like there wasn't really much for me personally in her role that stood out for a nomination. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson from Jojo Rabbit. I didn't see it. Alan did. He would have to comment on that. Florence Pugh from Little Women, who I thought was just delightful and perfect as Amy. And then Margot Robbie in Bombshell, and I thought she did a damn good job.
Yeah. Who's your pick?
This was tough for me. One, because I feel like Kathy Bates probably just blew it out of the park, or the water, or whatever the stupid saying is. But I didn't see it, and I am just in love with Little Women. And I thought Florence did a really good job, but honestly, I think Margot Robbie, like some of the scenes she had, like I had like a physical reaction. Like I cried in a couple of her scenes. I was so physically uncomfortable in a couple of them. I was angry. Like
the one with John Lithgow.
Yes, I was angry. Like all of these different emotions. Yes, I think that she's my pick. How about you?
I would have to go with Florence Pugh.
Really?
I think as we kind of look at Little Women, the the ability to basically change the narrative for a character in your acting. Granted, that's mainly from the writing, but also the acting, the execution of that kind of... Most people hate Amy. Whenever you think of Little Women, this character is not likable, but she somehow made this character likable, I think.
To be fair, I loved Kirsten Dunst in this role. But yes, I fully understand.
Especially
what you're
as
saying.
Adults, though. You know,
yes, I fully understand what you're saying.
Laura Dern, though, yes, she did win the Globe for this.
Really?
So I'm wondering if this is kind of one of those you're due moments, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Even though this wasn't her strongest performance.
It wasn't. Like I would think something from Big Little Lies.
But, well, that's a show, not a movie.
Oh, well, fuck.
But
yeah, you're right.
she is kind of a great supporting role in the fact that her character really did explain a lot of stuff while also being a character that really kind of stuck it to Adam Driver's character. So it was just kind of like...
was a driving force.
I'm not on your side, but here's how it's going to go, you know, and just laying out the landwork of... spoiler alert, by the way. I guess we're way too late for that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, then there's no reason for you to be listening to this particular episode.
We consider this the spoiler warning throughout, because I want to get in deep with this.
Yeah.
When she's telling, just going over the whole divorce procedure.
Oh, yeah.
Just the idea of, like, how fucked up that is, and, like...
Yeah, she was a big driving force for Scarlett Johansson's character, but also understood what she was doing to Adam Driver's character and didn't and enjoyed it.
Right.
So like I definitely get what you mean by that.
Yeah, she was totally fine ruining his life, basically.
Yeah. Which category do you want to hit next, man?
Let's talk about animated real quick.
Okay. I've seen one of these movies. I've seen Toy Story 4.
Unfortunately, I think that's going to win just because I have not seen any of them, unfortunately.
Dude!
Yes.
I've seen one. I'm so judgy. So judgmental. I think Toy Story 4 was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I love those movies.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. I hope that it wins. I'm sure the others are fine.
Yeah. But then again, it's like...
nostalgia, man.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's not like the Globes. They were pretty much all... I think Missing Link won. For the Golden Globe. Okay. Just giving people a reference.
Right.
Let's hit international real quick. I'm the only one who saw Parasite, so much like our animated feature, unfortunately, we're kind of falling short of the mark. But
sorry,
Les Miserables, everyone's kind of Amazon, of course, is pumping that in every ad. You might see it before your YouTube video or something. Pain and Glory, I've heard good things about that with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Unfortunately, again, I did not see it. I do think Parasite is going to take the international feature film, though. It's been cleaning up, as we know, this award season's thus far. And as of today, January 30th, before the WGA Awards, too, we'll get into that in a second.
I just realized, total tangent, that there's one category I did not pick, and I don't think that I can. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
What category?
The makeup and hairstyling. I can't pick, you guys.
Yeah, we'll make you pick. We'll get there. Next up, production design. We have The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Wow.
I've only seen 2 of these, but I still feel very strongly about 1917, so I'm going with that.
That's a good pick. Geez, these are tough because I know to what lengths both Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1917, and The Irishman. Oh, the production design is insane.
Yeah, like I watched a clip, it was like 5-minute clip or something like that, about 1917 after I got home from the theater, about how they had to go about like making sure that like the length of the script and the dialogue was going to be the length of the structure of the set, and then they had to build the set, and it's like miles long because you never hit the same place twice, and it's just consistent. And I was like, this is, watching them go through it, I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
Right.
Like, that won it all for me.
Yeah, 1917. I know they built a lot of stuff for like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Same with well, they built a few things for Irishman, but Irishman went to 295 locations, spanning the 3.5 hours, 5 decades they had to cover.
Right.
But yeah, it's I can't. Oof. 295 locations.
That's a lot.
So how many days? If you got 1, maybe 2 days per location, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I remember Netflix picked this up in late 2017, and it was at that time, you know, it was dropped by, I think, Paramount at that time.
Yeah, because it's 3.5 hours long.
3.5, which actually fits the streaming service model better in some ways.
It really does. What do you think?
I think it's a tough one because I'm stuck between Irishman and 1917 because I know how obsessive Martin Scorsese is about this, and they describe it at great length in their podcast. But this is tough.
Yeah. That's okay.
And
There's
then
a couple
1917, they talked about how the very first rehearsals were like in a field with the 2 actors, and then blocking out like the measurements of everything. And
it was very detailed.
And they were not allowed to film on any of the preservations.
Right.
So
that's crazy.
They had to rebuild a lot of stuff. So I would,
like, literally everything. Yeah.
Right. I would have to go with The Irishman just because of the actual locations they had to rebuild that were no longer there and things like that.
Right.
And for me, I'll go with Irishman on that.
Okay. Let's hop over to sound. There's a couple of different categories. So we got sound editing, sound mixing. If we start with sound editing, we got Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
1917.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I go with Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, why is that?
Yeah, I just feel like it's got to be a really tricky and sensitive thing to incorporate the very specific sounds of all those vehicles into the film properly, to like get the effect that you want, but also to not make it overwhelming,
right,
or lackluster or something. So I thought it was impressive.
Yeah.
Having said that, I would not be upset if any of these won, except for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because we all know how I feel about that. But the rest of them, I genuinely like. It would make sense to me if they won.
Yeah.
How about you? Oh, you said 1917.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm doubling down, honestly. But I mean, 1917. Sound editing and mixing. I'm going to just say it right now ahead of time. Because I'll mention real quick the sound mixing categories too, or nominees. Ad Astra, Ford v Ferrari, Joker, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for sound mixing. I think sound editing and mixing were important to both. Just 1917 because so much of what we see is what we hear in this film.
True.
Because we are constantly only in their field of view. And what we hear around us is what they're experiencing as it happens.
Right.
So it's that type of immersive feel to it that really, I think, was very important to the making of this film. So
Fun story. I picked Ford versus Ferrari for sound editing. I picked 1917 for sound mixing.
Oh, okay.
Why? I don't know. Because I wanted to.
Mix it up, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I think they did split the vote once. Maybe it was last year. Last year or the year before, there was a split. But previous years, they've typically been to the same one before.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah. Visual effects.
Okay. We're just going to go over the nominees first.
Yeah.
Star Wars, 1917, The Lion King, which, sure, The Irishman, and Avengers Endgame. Guys, such a nerd. I can't even. I saw Avengers. I didn't care what the rest of them were. I didn't care. It doesn't matter to me. Avengers all day, day for the rest of my GD life. Avengers. 100%.
Gosh. I want to say Avengers.
Yeah, because it's the right answer. If they don't win, I'm gonna be pissed. It's an excellent movie, and the whole thing is visual effects. How do you not pick that? And it is so well done.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Star Wars too.
I mean, okay, yeah, but like, I was about to say Star Wars has had so many years to get it right, but has Avengers. So
has Avengers, right?
Whatever.
I'm torn because I like The Irishman for this too.
What?
I know this is going to be a bit divisive. So
what
here,
the shit, Ellen?
Buckle up, Rahana.
This is not what I signed up for, you guys.
GT ride here.
All right, explain yourself.
Explain myself. Well, see, this is where it's tough because it's part visual effects, it's part cinematography. For The Irishman. We'll go to that next. But the reason why I'm kind of leaning Irishman for me personally, even though I think Avengers would win.
Yeah. As they should.
is because of the technology, which basically, I think this is what inflated the cost of The Irishman. Let's run down some technical nerding out here that I have done for this podcast.
You guys, Alan's going to nerd out real quick. It's going to be great.
Wow. I went to painstaking efforts to try to get, more.
He's doing this for you guys.
More dirt on this. So, this fellow named Pablo at ILM, he originally was talking about how they have to de-age De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and it's done so seamlessly that you forget they de-aged them. But the process they used was that the technology couldn't get in the way of the performance. So De Niro said he was not going to wear a helmet or dots or any of that stuff, and so they said, okay, we'll take the technology out of the performance. So there's none of that. None of the stuff you see in Star Wars and Endgame that were used. Okay. So they created this new process. Took 8 weeks to develop a de-aging new concept. No markers, no helmets, using a process called flux for facial. F is for facial, and then lux is for lights. But how they did it was Scorsese was filming on a film camera. So whenever they had to film a scene where they de-aged them, they used a red helium 8K camera with they call this thing the three-headed monster. So they have the red in the center, then you have two Alexa Minis witness cameras on the either side, left and right, with infrared rings mounted around the lenses. Each camera had their own follow focus and operators.
So my question for you.
So I'm getting down to it.
Oh, you're not done.
I'm not done.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
That's phase one. Then comes the Sony camcorder, which they called the God Cam. which
Nerdy.
really was meant to find out where their feet were on the set. And then they laser scanned the set to know where what I'm calling a 3-headed camera, the Hydra. They should call this thing a Hydra. It's huge. And the position of the lights. So that's how they determined where the light sources were and everything. So all the information that was coming into the camera on the 2 witness cameras were infrared. So basically things we can't see. In order to change them based on like things like drawing source footage from like Casino or things like that. You're okay. And DP was Rodrigo Prado. So that's my little take on their 3-headed monster. And there is a picture of the DP with the camera, which hopefully we'll share here soon.
So my question is, did it do a good job? Like, does it actually make them look younger, or does it look like Jeff Bridges in the new Tron?
It made them look like what they look like.
So it looks like them.
Younger.
It doesn't look like, oh, that's clearly some
right.
Okay.
Because I remember watching The Irishman, thinking like, wow, this shot is really clear. Like,
okay,
I could tell it was like, this wasn't just 4K cameras. It's either 6 or 8K, even on a 1080 screen.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had to match the helium to the film stock version and make it all work was just unbelievable innovation. So if Netflix was smart in this visual effects category, even if they lose, this technology should be used in the future, just maybe a smaller package version.
Right.
But
interesting.
To do it without dots, without a helmet, without all the junk
that's pretty incredible.
That get in the way of actors acting. Like, what a great way to like say, okay, we'll try something.
Yeah. But
the guy, I guess that Pablo went to, his name was Dennis.
Dennis.
I'm sorry, I didn't get. This is all in their podcast, the Irishman podcast. A fellow named Dennis, and told him that is this how he felt when he made Jurassic Park, and it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh wow, okay, ILM under Lucasfilm, which is Disney technically.
Yeah.
So
nice.
But that technology, if Disney has it, if Netflix was smart, they would have gotten a piece of that. I hope they're that smart on the business side, but
we'll see.
But that's why I'm kind of favoring Irishman, just the innovation to how do you de-age someone without getting in the way there.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can understand that. All right, let's hop over to the screenplays. We got adapted and original. For adapted, they have The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and The Two Popes. You guys, so I love Little Women so much. I think that Joker will probably has a better chance to win. I've only seen 2 of these. Has a better chance to win over Little Women, but God damn it, I really want Little Women to win. I think it was just wonderful. I've seen all of the other adaptations, and I love the story, and I think that they did such an incredible job with it this time around. Like, I just really, really do. So, that's my pick for adapted screenplay.
I saw all of these. My pick is Little Women, honestly.
Nice. Yes, Alan.
Greta Gerwig did something really amazing with this story, which was
she really did
paralleling the past and the present, which was actually kind of confusing to me at first. I got it eventually, but I was kind of like, wait, they just met and now they're fighting? Wait, what? Why?
Yeah.
Because they didn't really de-age anyone, by the way.
No, they didn't at all. Yeah.
Or vice versa, so I was kind of confused, like, why are they acting like they've never met?
Yeah.
But other than that, they could use that Irishman technology. But
Next time.
but yeah, I liked it because she said that in the book the narrator was not Joe. It was more just an omniscient.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
What
yeah,
about for? Oh,
she says that it, the author, excuse me, Louisa
May Alcott.
May Alcott, yep.
Yeah.
She took notes from so many people, and she compared that it ruined her book basically, and she hated it.
Yeah.
And that Greta compares that to making a film.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take too many notes, you won't recognize your film.
Right. What about for original screenplay?
Original screenplay, we have Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I will go with Parasite on this one. Original screenplay, I think that is the most original idea that has come from all these. All these have been derived from other possible ideas out there, but Parasite is unlike anything else. So in that regard, I think it is the most original.
I have not seen Parasite, so I will believe you, but because I haven't seen it, I will disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the rest, so I'm close. I went with Knives Out. I thoroughly enjoyed that film.
The murder mystery.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And my obsession and deep founded love for Chris Evans has nothing to do with it. But yeah, I genuinely really enjoyed Knives Out. For such a number of reasons. Like I thought that it was very clever. I thought it was fun and funny and interesting and intriguing. And it kept you on your toes. And I appreciated that. I thought it was very well done. It was a nice twist on what you would normally expect from a film like this.
Okay. And a good ensemble as opposed to Dinner with Schmucks. Now.
Oh, right? Yes. Okay, we're going to move on from that, or I'm never going to
Costume design. Let's go there. The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. My pick is Little Women.
Little Women. Heck yeah, Little Women.
I think I think the dresses, the flowing dresses, that always gets the Academy.
Yeah.
Period pieces, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that the Irishman went through a lot of wardrobe.
Yeah.
A ton.
I mean, I think that they all had good wardrobe.
215 costumes between the big three.
Yeah. I just really appreciated Little Women's wardrobe the most.
Yeah. It's not a shopping spree. It's a concentrated effort.
Yeah. So something that goes kind of along with that is the makeup and hairstyling, which I still have not picked, you guys. But they have Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, and 1917. I have not seen two of these, but I really, really, really want to. So I'm a little upset that I haven't seen them for this. I don't know. The three that I've seen, I think, did phenomenal job. I really, really do. Makeup and hairstyle. Like, I would probably go between the Joker and Bombshell for the two that I have seen, but I'm certain that Judy was probably done just really, really well. And I mean, Maleficent, there's a lot that goes into that makeup and hair. So, but I'm gonna go with the Joker or Bombshell.
Okay, I picked Bombshell just because Charlize Theron looks exactly like Megyn Kelly.
Exactly.
And women's makeup and hair takes a lot longer, as you know, in the chair than men. Mm-hmm. So Joker, I don't. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
He had face paint. That's true.
Right. But yeah.
It's less about that than it is the acting, by the way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's completely different. Let's go to original score and original song. For original score, they have Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Star Wars. I felt like this one was really tough too. I think they were all good, but none of them, like thinking back on them, because I've seen all of these, none of them stood out more than the others for me. But that might just be something that I don't notice as much when I'm watching a film. Like I feel like there's just things that stand out for certain people more than others, and I think this may be something that doesn't stand out for me as much.
Okay.
So I picked 1917. I'm not like die hard about that.
I concur. I've seen all of these as well, and I think 1917 makes the most sense.
That makes me feel better about my pick.
I think the score is meticulous in its rhythm because it constantly has that ticking sound like a clock in the background, which is very subliminal. And even though it either ramps up or slows down based on where we are and what time it is, closer to the deadline, basically. And it just kind of hits all these amazing journey beats along the way. So I think 1917, if you take the score out of that, it's kind of
a very different film.
A different film, yeah.
Nice.
Original song we have as the nominees: I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away, Toy Story 4. I'm Gonna Love Me Again, Rocket Man. I'm Standing With You, Breakthrough. Into the Unknown, Frozen 2. And Stand Up, Harriet.
I didn't see Harriet, and I really, really want to.
Yeah.
I also didn't see Frozen 2, and I want to, but like I'm actually quite upset that I haven't seen Harriet yet, because I was dying to see that. I think it's just going to be unbelievable. I
listened to all these songs. Yeah, the one Stand Up made me want to watch Harriet.
Really?
But I'm sorry, it's Elton's year. It's just like Lady Gaga. You can't beat someone who's this good. And I'm going with Elton John's Rocket Man.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I'm Gonna Love Me Again. And it's a pleasing song. It's a redeeming song of sorts, I suppose. So
it is.
You saw the movie.
I love Elton John. I loved the film. I feel like a lot of people compare it to Bohemian Rhapsody in like a negative light, and they're like, well, it's not as good as this. It's like, well, it's not supposed to be that. It's very different than that.
Right.
It wasn't made in the same light as that. And I genuinely adored that film. And I agree. That's what I picked as well. I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man. Yeah.
Very good. Let's go to film editing. Nominees are Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite.
I have an issue with this list.
Lay it on.
He knew I was going to say that. Why in the GDM effing-heimer is 1917 not on this list? Why? The editing in that film is probably like one of my favorite aspects of the film. The way that they shoot every scene as one take. So like the whole film and it by itself is not one take, but every scene is.
Right.
Outside of when he gets knocked out. But like they did it so it's essentially like being in the theater. Like if they messed up, they either had to recover and keep going or they had to start the entire scene over.
Right.
Like it's the way that they did it is unbelievable while still being able to like completely pivot around and have different like I just, oh my God, I couldn't. I'm really upset that is not on this list. Because of that, I don't care who wins. It doesn't matter. It's a sham category. Whatever. I picked the Joker. Meh. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I picked the Joker too. I think the Joker, when you look at it, especially the way the screenplay was written in regards to the Killing Joke, basically there's a line in there. It says basically if you want to know who the real Joker is, it's multiple choice is kind of the line. And that's kind of what this editing was like what's real, what's not. It's his relationship with Zazie Bates.
Yeah.
I'm saying it right. Zazie Bates. She like that can easily happen in today's world, I think, even though it was set in the past. Which is very interesting commentary, even though it didn't have like our phone technology today or anything like that, or the internet like that. But I think it was like the fridge scene, that whole thing with Joaquin Phoenix. We'll get to that with him. But the whole idea that, once he shuts that door on that refrigerator, he can't get out from the inside technically. So it's strange that it was in there. Todd Phillips says he left it in there on purpose.
Yeah, I could see that.
But ultimately it was improvised. They didn't know he was going to do that. So again, it goes back to the whole theme of the film itself, Joker. And by the way, it's called Joker, not The Joker.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So my pick is Joker 2.
Nice. That again makes me feel better about that pick.
But cinematography then.
So we've got The Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, making its first appearance on the lists, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I again had to go with 1917. I feel like I kind of went over it a little bit when I talked about editing. The way that they made this film, I think, was absolutely incredible and deserves a lot more discussion than it's getting at this point. I genuinely feel like they deserve that.
My pick is also 1917.
Boom.
I think just the idea to put this into from basically stage to screen, almost like.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't argue with just the cinematography of Roger Deakins. He and Sam Mendes did Skyfall together.
Yep.
Another burning building. Let's let's just light this thing once.
Yeah. Just
like Matt told us, Matt Ekholm, our previous guest.
Yeah.
He also shot like Skyfall, and obviously I just said that Blade Runner 2049 and Sicario. He operated the camera remotely, the camera movements, as the operators were moving the cameras.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you guys haven't already, you should definitely like YouTube it, and because there are like little mini videos about how they did that and showing it, and it's absolutely brilliant and incredible.
Yeah. And
directing. You've heard all these already.
The Irishman. Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite.
Yep.
Who did you pick?
I was going back and forth between the Joker and 1917. I probably land on Joker, but I would be okay with either.
Right.
Yeah. How about you?
I was going between 1917 and Parasite for directing.
Okay.
I think ultimately the Academy will go for 1917, Sam Mendes, just because of the amount of pre-production with directing the actors, directing camera, directing everything around it. I think that was going to be that's why I think 1917 is going to win.
Yeah.
He just hit all the dots for directing. I mean, the full screen, it was all his. So
yeah,
to make or break, and
absolutely.
He made it great.
He did. Let's go for actor in a leading role.
Okay, actress or actor?
Let's go actor.
Oh, going with the gentleman first.
Yeah, well,
that's okay. I'll do these.
Yep.
Actor in a leading role, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. And Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes. I will pick Joaquin Phoenix. Joker. He is method. There is no getting around that.
Mm-hmm.
Please, sir, take a nap.
Yeah, I went with Joaquin Phoenix as well. I think that he was fucking brilliant in this role. I feel like there's something to say about the fact that he did this role to where people can appreciate his performance as much as they appreciated Heath Ledger's. And after Heath Ledger played the Joker, you really didn't think there was anybody else that was going to play the Joker well again. Like, that was not an expectation or an assumption. And I think that he blew it out of the water. He did quite the job and made you acknowledge the fact that he's the villain in this world, like in the DC world, in the Batman world, that you hate, and he's creepy and he's weird and all this kind of stuff. But my God, you're feeling so bad for this guy. I think that he did more than probably anyone expected out of this role. He blew it out of the fucking water. I appreciated every ounce of his performance and what it took from him, I'm sure. And I think he just 100% deserves this.
Right.
And that's my 2 cents.
Awesome.
So for actress in a leading role, we have Cynthia Erivo from Harriet, which, again, I'm really mad that I didn't see. Scarlett Johansson from Marriage Story, which is fine. I don't know how to say her first name.
Saoirse.
What?
Saoirse. Like inertia, but Saoirse.
Really?
Saoirse Ronan. Mm-hmm.
Really? Y'all, that is not what I was going to say. Whoa. Anyway, her from Little Women. Charlize Theron from Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger from Judy. I did not see Judy, and I wanted to. I did not see Harriet, and I wanted to. Quite frankly, having not seen those two, I think that one of them should win. I genuinely do. But I also think that Charlize did a wonderful job in her role. Mm-hmm. And Miss Ronan, whose first name I cannot pronounce, apparently, also did an incredible job.
Say her name.
Don't tell me what to do, Alan. You're so bossy. The only person that I really don't want to win in this category, to be frank, is Scarlett Johansson, because I felt a little robbed with Marriage Story. It wasn't what I was. I wanted more. I felt like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have fairly negative thoughts about it. It was good, but yeah. I just, no.
I get exactly what you're saying about Marriage Story, which we will get to.
Yes,
very
we will
shortly.
Get there so soon. But so yeah, I'm okay with the rest of them winning. I would love it if Cynthia or Renee won.
So your pick is?
I literally have both of those two. I don't know. But having not seen either of them, it's tough to say this is the one over the other.
Well, if it helps, would you like to know who won the Globe?
Yeah.
It was Renee Zellweger.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I mad about that? I just got really defensive. Fucking of course she did.
Maybe it's just me.
No, I don't know. I don't know. That makes me happy that, I mean...
At least I believe she won in a category. The way the Globe splits things up is weird. Mm-hmm. It's like music and comedies. And,
oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Dramas and this and that. And Saoirse won for drama. So I think Saoirse Ronan's going to win. And I want her to win. Mm-hmm. Because...
She did a wonderful job.
She did great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She carried this whole story. And
In such a delightful way.
Yeah, and in a way that really speaks to the author's voice as well as Greta's. I love the whole thing about how she got the role too.
I don't know that story, Alan. Tell us.
Well, let me find it in my notes here, my lovely notes.
Okay. I did not come prepared. Alan has notes, pages of notes. He's seen every movie. You can tell who's more hardworking here.
Well, I know the general story. I don't know if I have it written down exactly here. But it was at the Independent Spirit Awards when Saoirse knew that Greta was directing, finally, Little Women. And she said that, and I got this all from a podcast that Greta herself said it in, so that she was going to play Joe then and there. She basically said, "I'm your Joe," basically.
Aww.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
apparently
phenomenal.
they also knew about it on Lady Bird, like that she was writing it.
Right.
But when she found out she was actually directing, she's like, "I'm going to play Joe." You better put
I like
me.
that.
You're playing me as Joe, right?
Aw.
So
I love that. Well, she
Yeah.
did an amazing job.
yes. And I think Saoirse Ronan's history growing up from Lady Bird, from Brooklyn, from Hannah, all the way back. I think it's also her time, if you want to talk about being due.
I'll go with I will agree with you on that. I'm still actually just really upset about the way that her name is pronounced.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Whenever
not
I look
spelled
at
that
it,
way.
it's not the way it looks. Yeah,
Like, rude, lady. What are you doing?
it's apparently because she's Irish.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe
Right.
it's something
Which
the way-
makes total sense. Like, I get it. I'm being an asshole.
It would
I know
make
that.
sense that it doesn't look like how it sounds.
Right, which is fine.
Unless you're Conan O'Brien.
Right.
Who needs a friend, by the way, Saoirse Ronan?
Ronan. Okay.
Okay, and now our final category, Best Picture. I will introduce these pictures the following. Ford v. Ferrari, director James Mangold, writer Jez Butterworth, John Henry Butterworth, Jason Keller, budget of $97.6 million, studio is 20th Century Fox. The Irishman, Martin Scorsese, director, writer Steven Zalian, and Charlie Brandt, $159 million budget, and Netflix is the studio. Jojo Rabbit, writer director Taika Waititi, and $25 million budget, studios Fox Searchlight. Joker, written and directed by Todd Phillips, $55 million budget, Warner Brothers. Little Women, director, writer Greta Gerwig, based on Louisa May Alcott's book, $40 million budget, Columbia Pictures, Sony. Marriage Story, written and directed by Noah Baumbach, $18.6 million budget, Netflix. 1917, writer-director Sam Mendes, also written with Christy Wilson Cairns, $90 million budget. Parasite is Bong Joon-ho, $11.4 million. Studio is Neon. We kind of did this in a few ways. We ranked them, and then we also picked, obviously, who our number one is. Because the Academy rank votes Best Picture, which is why you might be confused as to why some films win certain years. Which to
Most
me,
years.
I think this is a failing part of the Oscars in many ways. This one was tough to figure out who number one was for me. I'm going with Parasite number one, 1917 number two. 3 would be Joker. 4 is Little Women. 5 is The Irishman. 6 is Ford v. Ferrari. 7 is Marriage Story. 8 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And 9 is Jojo Rabbit.
Really? Alan, I did not expect that to be your number 9.
Oh, yes. I have reasons for all of these.
I fully believe it.
Jojo Rabbit. Let's start with let's get your rankings too.
Okay. I also had a really hard time picking number 1. I'm not 100% set on it. I have 3 number 1s, you guys.
That's awesome.
My top 3, I spent like 10 minutes going back and forth between them all. Again, I did not see 3 of these films. I had no intention of seeing one of them, which is why it is my last film. And we all know how I feel about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's why I'm curious. Where these rank for you?
So, number 9 is Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
I have no interest in that film. Number 8 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because I at least enjoyed like 45 minutes of it. I just didn't enjoy the rest of the 6 hours.
Yeah.
Number 7 is Parasite. Solely because I didn't see it, so I have no opinion, so I can't, yeah. Number 6 is The Irishman. Again, I didn't see it, but I've heard that it is just incredibly difficult to sit through. If you can't sit through it in one sitting, in my opinion, a hard pass. Number 5 is Marriage Story, because again, it's good. I have like weird feelings about it. Number 4 is Ford versus Ferrari. I thought it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. It made me cry. And I thought everyone did an excellent job. I was much more interested in the topic than I thought I was going to be. All of these things. I thought it was really good. Okay. I don't like putting this movie at number 3. Little Women.
Oh, okay.
I don't like putting it there because I left that movie. First of all, this is the first movie I have ever seen by myself, like in a theater. I've never been to the theater by myself before.
Oh.
And I went and saw this movie by myself. I took myself out on a GD date.
Nice.
I'm also a cheap date. It was $5 Tuesdays and I got free popcorn. It doesn't matter. The point is, I took myself out on a date and I had a delightful time because of this movie. I loved the movie and it I was in just such a good mood and I was happy and it made my heart warm. And I can't even explain my love for this movie, you guys. But I have to put it at number 3, even though I don't want to. I put Joker at number 2. Up until I saw 1917, I was certain Joker was going to be my number 1. And then I saw 1917. And it's so incredible and it's so moving. And the fact that this shit happened is just I can't words. You guys, this is a podcast and I don't have the words. That is not the way it's supposed to go. I picked 1917. I thought it was just phenomenal and amazing and well done and moving, and that is my choice.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I would be satisfied with 1917.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that you watch it once.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Parasite, you could watch it a few times and still pick up more things.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my general hallmark on movies too. Mm-hmm. Aside from it being a good movie, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
1917, I think, would I feel the same way if I watched it again? Because it's when things are going to happen.
Right.
Unlike Saving Private Ryan, where it's would I feel that same type of tension, even though I know nothing technically happens?
Yeah.
In certain places. So.
Right. That makes sense.
That's why, and to have Parasite win a foreign film in a Best Picture category
that would be
very
incredible.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
It's like a lottery shot. It's 1 in 92 right now. At this point, 92 Oscars.
Wow.
92nd Oscars. So, I mean, right now, I haven't seen it happen. It has not ever happened. So I'm very skeptical that it will.
Yeah.
So I think my number 2, 1917, is more likely to win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I Jojo Rabbit missed the mark. I think for me, I think they did a great job with perspective, I think, of growing up, what it was like to be a 10-year-old in that time. And it all makes sense within the context of it, though. I think that alone is one of the things that kind of kept me in the chair, not leaving the theater. And
that's got to say something.
Yeah,
if a
yeah.
film almost makes you leave the theater and then it's nominated for the best picture, suck it, Academy. What are you doing?
But it's
Come on.
okay. I like its boldness too. I love the actors. The actors did amazing. Roman Griffin Davis, Thompson McKenzie. The dialogue between them was excellent. Scarlett Johansson, I think, essentially she was Infinity Ward, like that. Like there was a moment in the film where it's like, this is a comedy, and then it took a hard right, hard left, whatever.
Really?
And it's like, oh, this is no longer a comedy,
Oh, that's not good.
Unlike Parasite, where it's like it's like you slowly get into the bath. You don't just jump into
Right.
this,
Yeah.
this sudden.
You got to ease into that.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is towards the end of the war, and it was it was actually interesting to think like a 10-year-old. Like, what would a 10-year-old think that was growing up like this? And to that extent, I did appreciate its perspective, I think. Sam Rockwell, Alfie Allen, they played gay Nazis.
They're phenomenal actors.
Rebel Wilson. The characters did very little for me in this story, but they're meant to break up tension, hopefully. However, I loved Archie Yates and Roman Griffin Davis. Those two are just, they remind me of like Little Rascals. Just those two together. It was hilarious. It was like, more of this. You should have just done that.
Yeah.
Forget the Hitler. Tycho had to play Hitler. It's like, what are you doing? However, I think this is interesting. The reason I brought up budget mainly was because we have the Mammoth Irishman.
Yeah.
What was it? 159 million up against an 11.4 million Korean film. It's like, granted, that's a lot in their country, but that being said,
that is a hefty difference.
Yeah, from the landscape of what's indie and what's studio,
right?
We clearly know here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that, this small film can, with a great idea,
right,
made this list. So.
Absolutely.
And I'm certain it's going to take the international, so at least it'll win something, hopefully.
How cool would that be if it took the international and the best picture? That would be so cool.
It would be great, because last year Roma almost did it.
Yeah.
They were close. But then Green Book happened. I think Roma was the better film, but I thought there were other better films that year. But anyways, then you have Ford v Ferrari,
which was a fun film. That's how I would describe that.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Except
when it makes you like cry, but other than that,
I love all the actors in that.
Oh, absolutely.
It was an ensemble film.
Yes.
No one was really taking the lead per se.
No.
I didn't feel.
No.
I felt like it was kind of two guys running the show for the acting. Christian Bale and Matt Damon. And I used to own a Mustang, so I'm obviously very happy to see a movie made about it.
Yeah.
Understand where it came from.
Right.
Joker.
Yeah.
It was highly Scorsese inspired.
Right.
Little Women.
God, you guys, everyone go see Little Women. I didn't want to see it. I
Same.
I grew up reading the books or the book, and then like I had like these little stories where it was like Amy stories, and so it's like books about her and like written by her and like all this stuff from all these characters. Like I was obsessed with like these characters growing up. I loved them. I loved the story. I loved the environment that they were in and who they were as people. And then the classic film is classic, and then the 90s version like I was obsessed with. And then I was like, they're redoing it. They don't have to redo it. It's been done. It's over. Stop. And you were like, we got to watch the movies. And I was like, it's across the street from my apartment and it's Tuesday. So I went and saw it, and I'm so happy that I did.
Yeah.
Like, what an incredible job. Like, the cast, everyone does an incredible job.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and
so much more than what I thought it would ever be. Greta Gerwig, right? Gerwig?
Mm-hmm.
Just was phenomenal, like, with what she did with this film.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
She said that she wanted to start like, it was like a record, because you see Jo at the very beginning, you see her back. Mm-hmm. At the very end, you see her facing forward towards the camera. So it was
lovely.
Yeah, and she does all these things for the film, the story, that, and as I mentioned, she saw it as very contemporary and very progressive.
Yeah.
And she was snubbed for director category.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah. I agree with, she's got to win the screenplay then. That's how I feel about it. If Spike can do it, you can do it too, Greta. So,
right.
Yeah. Just, she said that, cinema can do a thing that no other art form can do, that it's a time machine, and it can create the thing that's already passed, can live in front of you in its fullness.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
And then Marriage Story.
I struggle with that film.
Yeah, the divorce story. Really, it's not marriage.
I'm like, I love Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. I think they're both phenomenal actors. They've done such good work over, like, lately, recently, all these things. And I'm sad that this is what they were given to work with. I don't know.
They did it.
It's did. Done. They did as good of a job with that as they could.
And then 1917. Oh my God.
Which is brilliant.
$90 million film.
Yep.
Same budget as Game of Thrones. And it showed.
Oh, yeah, it definitely showed.
It was brilliant.
Yeah. They did an incredible job with it.
I haven't seen a war movie with that much detail like Saving Private Ryan. Mm-hmm. Like, since Saving Private Ryan comes to mind. But I'm like, when my friend and I saw this, we were halfway through the film thinking, like, there really hasn't been any action.
Yeah.
Up until,
but there's so much tension.
Yeah.
Because you're just waiting. Like, what is about to happen? Like, you feel like you're in that scenario. Like, you're there with him. And holy shit, what is about to happen? Like, you're feeling what he's feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of Dunkirk-like, but without the aerial and sea part. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I was going to say something.
I like the interesting twist ending for Sharon Tate. That was quite satisfying.
That was nice.
It's a satisfying idea, as much like Inglourious Bastards. Who wouldn't want to kill Hitler?
Right.
And Goebbels and all them.
Like, I totally get that.
And who wouldn't want, like, what if Manson's guys actually went to the wrong house and this guy was in there? Brad Pitt's character was
right.
You wouldn't want to go into that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Parasite. I'll get off Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Good call.
Parasite was just it was so great. There's the business podcast with Kim Masters. He talks to her about his son saying that he looks stupid directing. It's like what are you doing? You just go there, you say the same thing over and over again. And then you...
Aw.
Again and again. And it's just, you look very stupid. And he doesn't shoot coverage. He shoots what's in his mind, and he gets that from short films, learning to work with what you have. Sound familiar, Minnesota? And so, I mean, I feel like this is like a lot of Minnesota filmmakers. Like, if you follow a path like Bong Joon-ho made here, you can be in there with these guys. I mean, it's just like...
Yeah.
To be at that level, but
it's
have
possible.
the story that makes it happen and the
Right.
actors. So,
Exactly.
Well, that's it.
That's the Oscars, guys.
Yeah, that's our take.
We'll see in a few days how right or wrong we are.
Yeah, very shortly, 1 week.
All I gotta say is if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wins, I'm done watching movies forever. Just kidding.
I somehow doubt that. But
Yeah, I don't think I could actually do that, but I certainly could not do that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I will not be pleased with the Oscars.
And tell us, give us feedback. What do you think about doing a theme show idea? Like, obviously it won't be the Oscars next time, but
Unless it is. Just kidding. Give us your ideas, your thoughts, your feedback.
What do you think about the 10 films or less? We're
10
trying to...
films or less.
The idea behind that is that we're able to bring a wider audience to your films, hopefully.
Yeah.
More people get to know that, what is going on? It is happening,
Right, like rather than just focusing on specific individuals and what they're doing. Like,
and
we've had them on, but now what are they up to a year later?
And where can you see it? Like we mentioned Sika TV, Z-Fest. These are the places where you can go find them and watch them and enjoy it.
And
hopefully.
collaborate with them.
Yeah, and if you're just a cinephile and you want to watch something, this is how you can know it's right here. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
To our random, fun, new bit of a podcast episode.
Yep.
And until next time.
This is Film in Minnesota.